Right now, we have Google, we have IBM, we have Texas Instruments, but especially Google. I think all eyes are on that, and you see what the stock's been doing as of late. But, you know, Google has a good story. I think the headwinds right now are taxation issues, accounting issues, loss of revenue from the CPC, cost per click, given all the mobile tablets and smartphones people are using. But the thing is, they still have a stranglehold on the market. And if they can just come up with something that's game-changing instead of something that's experimental, that will really carry them forward. I do believe this stock's healthy. It's a very good long-term buy.
Okay, talk us more broadly through the tech sector at the moment, because we've got Apple out tomorrow, I think, as well, and IBM out today. Do you like any of the other big plays there at the moment?
Well, the trouble with IBM is that it's like playing catch-up. On one hand, the hardware business has done very well for them. There's been a lot of mainframe refreshing over the past 6 to 12 months. That's good for them. The software sales, which has the higher margins and higher revenue for the company, has been very, very inconsistent. And also the service part of their business has been, I think they've only done 2 deals in the past 6 months. And right now, those deals haven't been disclosed on how much income it is. So is it a good long-term buy? I don't know. It's a question mark to me. And it's going to be really interesting to see with the guidance going forward. Now, lastly, to your point, Texas Instruments, that's something that really confuses me because it's at near 52-week highs. There's a large gap or perceived gap between them, Broadcom, and Qualcomm, and yet the stock continues to rally in lockstep with the other companies. So we shall see. It's going to be, in America anyway, our markets have turned very micro-focused. We don't really are concerned right now with the Bank of Japan. We're not worried about the good or bad issuances in Europe right now. All eyes are on tech. It's going to be very fascinating to see.
Yeah, just your take on that news out from the Bank of Japan. Certainly currency traders a little disappointed. We saw the Nikkei move in the wrong direction following the news as well. What was the reaction down there at the CME Group?
You know, the reaction was like a lot more like nobody seemed to care one way or the other. And I think part of that is just we're a little bit concerned that this would even be able to be implemented. I think there's been 6 financial prime ministers in the last 7 years. And who's to say that this new one's going to be able to implement 2% inflation policy? I'm doubtful, and I think the CME, not the CME Group, but the traders in general seem to be very skeptical. However, it does need to be said that Japanese yen implied volatility did hit a 1-year high on Friday. So there is a little bit of, even though people seem to be casual about it, people are also very nervous about it.
Okay, talk us through some index levels now, because the S&P is approaching that 1,500 mark. We know that the market loves big whole numbers. As we approach it, what do you think our chances are of reaching it in the near term?
You know, I don't think the chances are very good. I mean, the market does seem a little bit toppy right now. And if you look at the S&P 500 top-down number estimates, about $107 in aggregate, that would put us at about 1,500. And so it seems right now, when you look at like current hedge fund leverage, the amount of people that have turned bearish to bullish, the massive inflows we've seen over the past couple of weeks, I'm thinking that the market's due for a breather. I mean, I could see us breaking through 1,500 a little bit, but I think we're overdue for a substantial pullback.
Larry, what's your view on the debt ceiling issue? Is that something that we're still really watching closely at the moment?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, but it seems like it's on the back burner. It's like it's on the last page of the newspaper, as it were. It just seems like nobody really seems to be giving it a whole lot of, like there's a decoupling between Washington and Wall Street right now. And even though the debt ceiling is a gigantic issue, it seems like it's just going to be put off enough time that they'll figure it out, and the markets seem to be pricing in that fact right now.